Hello, friends. Host Eric here, talking with famous people. First, let me say, since I just read the comment, yep, I do have a bit of a crush on Demon Windu. For sure. I mean, he's the outsider, you know? Anyway, I don't know what this video is about. This video is called, it's a much more juicy topic indeed. It's called Addiction, Sex, and Getting That Juice. I think it's a good title. So, what I want to talk about is the misapplication of the term addiction all over the place, all the time. Just freaking, yeah. I've never actually been addicted to anything. I like to call myself, I'm guilty of this too. I call myself a drug addict sometimes, just saying I'm addicted to drugs or whatever. But I've never actually been addicted to anything. Oh, no, that's not true. I'm addicted to cigarettes. I'm addicted to cigarettes. But the thing about an addiction is the real addiction has physical withdrawal symptoms when you stop doing it. And I don't mean like your body's getting back to normal symptoms. I mean withdrawal symptoms. Like things get worse before they get better. Uh, Cigarettes are like that. Speaking of which, I totally want a cigarette now. Okay, well, I could take this with me. I don't have to stand out here to do this. But other than cigarettes, I've never really been addicted to anything. I was an alcoholic. I mean, I still am an alcoholic, probably. Regardless, I was and am practicing non-drinker. So that doesn't mean I was actually addicted to alcohol. Okay, addiction is different than I'm addicted to cigarettes, but I'm not addicted. I was never addicted to alcohol because when I quit drinking, I didn't experience physical withdrawal symptoms. That's a meaningful definition of addiction. Now, self-medication is a different matter, and that's what most people do. They do it with alcohol, they do it with marijuana, they do it with all sorts of drugs. Some of those kinds of drugs that people self-medicate with can become addictions. Things like opioids or opiates or what are those other things called? Like things like Valium. I forget what they're called. Anyway, those are real addictions because you experience physical withdrawal symptoms when you don't get the drug. Does that mean that cigarettes are a bigger problem for me than alcohol because cigarettes are an addiction and alcohol is not? Not at all. I don't need to quit cigarettes because they don't negatively impact my life. Or at least not enough to make me quit them. Whereas alcohol makes my life a complete fucking train wreck. So, that's why I have to quit alcohol. The thing about these whole addiction things and blah, 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 is the whole point of this video is there are people in the world, lots of them, who refer to themselves as sex addicts or food addicts. Those things don't exist, okay? There's no. Do you feel a physical withdrawal symptom when you don't have sex? Well, yeah, I guess you do in a sense, but it's not a withdrawal symptom. It's a failure to release symptom, and that will retract if you don't have sex often. You sort of go into non-sex mode, as I did for a good year after my marriage. So, um, regardless, it's not true that you are addicted to sex because you also experience physical withdrawals if you don't go pee, right? Oh, you're addicted to going pee now? No, you're not addicted to going pee. It's a biological process. And you don't even have to ejaculate. You can be perfectly healthy and not ejaculate. I mean, I can't, but that's because, you know, I gotta keep my prostate active or else it gets prostatey. I'm a guy who's getting older. Right now, my prostate feels like it's 30 years old again or whatever. But it's because I'm having a lot of sex. That doesn't mean I'm a sex addict. Not addicted to it. And here's why I'm making this video at all. Is because I saw on TV the other day Harvey Weinstein getting into his fucking car and saying therefore it's obvious I need help, guys. It's a rough time for me right now. No, it's obvious you need punishment, you fuckhead. He doesn't have a health problem. He's got a morality problem. He's got a character problem. He's got something in him that takes pleasure in taking the dignity of people. That what he's really trying to do is collect other people's dignity. Because I don't know why. He's a bad person. There's no fucking way anybody should buy anybody else saying they're a sex addict. Because when is the only time people say they're sex addicts? Nobody goes, oh, I've got a really active sex life. I'm single. I want to be single. I don't want to be in a monogamous relationship. And I go on to random chicks who like to get tied up by randomdudes.com. And these chicks are so down. And I just go and I hump them one after another. And it's fantastic. I'm a sex addict. No, nobody says that. They say that when they get caught cheating. They say that when they get caught doing bullshit like Harvey Weinstein got caught doing. If you are a sex addict, what are you supposed to do about that? Like, have more sex. And you only have so much coming. And I don't know about chicks. I don't know about, like, maybe a chick wants to be a sex addict. Maybe they could be more of a sex addict. But I only got so many loads a day, right? So, how can I possibly be a fucking sex addict? Don't I know how to masturbate? The other thing is, unlike drugs, sex involves another person. It's not something you're consuming, it's a behavior two people are engaged in together. And to the extent that it's consensual between those two people, there's nothing wrong with it inherently. But to the extent that you are being a lying coward and in a relationship and expressing to the other person that you're not fucking around, but actually fucking around, then you're a coward and a bad fucking person. And you can't try to blame it on some kind of addiction. It's bullshit. Is it possible? Okay, this is the other thing. Getting that juice. There's another factor here, which is it's true that people get their juice from shit. And you can tweak out on that. Like, I remember one time I came back from college, it was spring break, I played SimCity 2000. I must have played it for 65, 70 hours that week. I don't know. I played it all day, every day. And at the end of it, at the end of that spring break, I felt kind of like, ugh, that was kind of a waste of time. Was I engaged in behavior that you would call addictive? Yeah. I was tweaking out on that thing. Was I addicted to it? No. I was just tweaking out on it. I wasn't on any kind of speed or anything. I mean, I was just tweaking out on it. I was getting my juice from it, you know? Is it possible for everybody to fixate too much on getting their juice from one juice source? Yeah. But that's where a little bit of self-discipline comes in. You know, I'm not good at self-discipline, but, I mean, it's like when I used to be an active meth user, addict, I guess you'd say, but I wasn't ever addicted to it. I wasn't addicted to it physically, and I was habituated to using it, and I liked it. And then when it was no longer sustainable and shit was kind of falling apart, I said, fuck it. And I stopped, just like that. Why? Because I was never addicted to it. I was just into it. I was tweaking out on tweaking out. regardless, when it was the middle of the night and I run out of meth, I would not leave my daughter alone at home to go get meth. I would not go with my daughter together to go get meth. I would just say, well, I guess no more meth for tonight. That's called prioritizing decency. You know, I I wasn't a perfect father, but I was pretty damn good when I was on meth. I played with her a lot. We did a lot of fun things together. We talked a lot. You know, I have lots of audio recordings of her. I didn't make videos back then, but um, yeah, it didn't make me a bad person. It didn't make me, certainly didn't make me a bad father. Kimberly can attest to the fact that you can watch her yourself on the channel. The fact that she's a very well-adjusted kid, and like, I mean, not at all a drug addict, and super good FE for an ENTP. Although you know she's a little chatty, a little talkative, um, but you know, very attentive to that sort of stuff. Right, in a relationship, you know, going to school, has a job, all that kind of shit. And she doesn't need a job, but she has one anyway. So I gotta go into the noisiness. Um, Another thing I want to talk about is food. You can't be addicted to food. Okay, first of all, fatness is 99% genetics, 1% diet. Second of all, if you're tweaking out on food, well, you're tweaking out on food. You're not addicted to it. The solution is to stop tweaking out on food so much. If you're addicted to, if there were a behavior that I was going to call something you could be addicted to, it would be gambling. I'm not addicted to it, but it seems more like an actual addiction than food or sex, which are naturally occurring things. Now, but I don't buy behavioral addictions because you're not changing. Well, see, that's why gambling's kind of an iffy one. But okay, forget about gambling. That's why that's not part of this video. That's why it's not part of this video. I didn't know that was why that wasn't part of this video, but now I do. Okay, gambling's a little more complicated, but I don't have any. I've never been addictive at gambling at all. I like to gamble a little bit occasionally, and if I lose more than a few bucks, I get a dirty taste in my mouth. So um, it makes me not gamble then for a while. Uh, and I'm very small stakes. So that's how I gamble. Anyway, um, yeah. So if you think you're a sex addict, translation, you're cheating on somebody and are justifying it to yourself. If you think you're a food addict, translation, you're fat because it's your genetics and there's nothing fucking wrong with that. Okay. And number two, stop tweaking out on food so much. If you're addicted to cigarettes, well, that's another matter. Keep smoking. It'll it'll satisfy that addiction. I mean, that's one I just that is my absolute master is nicotine. I will never live another day of my life without nicotine. For one way or another, I'm gonna have to have it, you know, or else I start getting fussy. Anyway, don't forget to eat plenty of cheese. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese. If you forget, then I'll be sad.